So tonight, new and intense scrutiny for a top exec at Campbell's Soup who's accused of saying some pretty wild stuff, like that the meat in the soup is bioengineered from a 3D printer, and allegedly going on an offensive and in some case racist rant. It's all because a former employee who's suing the company says he secretly recorded Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally during what that worker describes as an hour-long tirade. We've got the recording, and we want to warn you here, it's pretty harsh. Listen.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? So healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at me, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
Oof, in the lawsuit,
Say it's not so. Say it ain't so. Say it is not so. Campbell. And I think people still gonna be eating this stuff. Is it for poor people? Perhaps it is. Only poor people eat out of cans, I guess. Right? The rich people eat it fresh. They don't have time to hit the cans. Cans is for survival mode. Cans is what they used to use in war. So the question will be, right? Is this ethical? And I want to know, was it illegal and or illegal for the ex-co-worker to actually record him? Because in some states, it's actually illegal to record someone without their consent. Maybe in that state, it isn't illegal. And I'm glad that this news is coming out now but I don't think how effective is this going to be? Because we all know McDonald's fries isn't real. Their chicken isn't real. Nothing in McDonald's is real. Right? But yet, it's still being consumed at one hell of a rate. Smash that like button if you agree. Subscribe to the channel if you agree. Leave your thoughts down below if you disagree. Chick-fil-A has 3D meat. Now it kind of seems why everyone's walking around with cancer. Makes sense to me now. You're eating all fake stuff and you don't know what these fake things are going to do to you. Au revoir. And it's not like you don't know what it's going to do to you. Obviously, are you made to eat 3D printed meat? Are you made to eat 3D printed fries? Are you made to eat anything that's not organic? Or are you forced to do these things because you don't control the supermarket? You don't control the supply chain. What's the point of the FDA? Ask yourself that. What would then be the point of the FDA? Or you can also speculate to say the FDA is getting paid as. Is this all a conspiracy? Is this all a money-making scheme, racketeering event? Seems to me that it must be. Let's continue.
Former employee also alleges Bally made racist remarks about Indian workers, calling them idiots. When he reported the tirade to company management, he was terminated in retaliation, allegedly, for complaining about that alleged behavior. Campbell's has not confirmed the statements to NBC, but did say that if they were...
And this is why I don't believe in unions. Because the union will say that they will protect you from these things. And the union does nothing because they're in bed with these companies as well. So he was terminated for coming to the forefront and letting the people know, also being a whistleblower. That's what they call it, whistleblower. Or someone that just exercises the freedom of right to speech, the freedom of speech. I guess it's unethical to tell the truth, but it's ethical to promote lies. What a world do we live in? What a world we live in.
They do not reflect the company's values. NBC News also reached out to Bally, but haven't heard back. Let's bring in Camila Bernal. Camila, this is just what we played is just a little bit of this, right? There's more to these allegations?
There's many more of these allegations, and I also read through the lawsuit, Hallie, and what this former employee says is that this all happened over a conversation about his salary. He says they sat down about a year ago to talk through all of these things, and that's when he began speaking badly about the company, saying things like this was processed food and saying this was for poor people, as you heard there on that recording. And like you mentioned, this goes on for a while. And I want you to listen to more of that conversation.
Everybody thinks our recipes are like crown jewels or not. They're important, but no, it's the process. It's the process that makes the food. You know, the ingredients are in the back of the can.
So not only does he talk about the food, but this lawsuit also alleges that this VP went.
This is why it's a good to eat food only with one ingredient. If it has more than one ingredient, 9 times out of 10, it's going to have dire consequences and repercussions. This is why it's good to eat foods with one ingredient. If you're eating an apple, let it be an apple. If you're eating potatoes, let it just be potatoes. If you're eating meat, let it be real meat. You can't eat potato chips. You can't eat pizza. You can't eat these things. If it's grapes, let it be grapes. Right? Because if it has more than one ingredients, and if it don't have any type of other natural ingredients like salt, then 9 times out of 10, you're eating something that's genetically modified or chemically modified. Soft drinks, chemically modified. Sodas, chemically modified. And you wonder why people are stressing, or people have fatigue, or people are overweight, or America is the obese of the obese of the obesity. And people wonder why. You're living in filth. And guess what? You're purchasing it too. Can we talk about it?
On to talk about employees at the company, and the lawsuit alleges that they're racist comments. Take a listen to those comments.
They couldn't figure out these dumb.
Whoa.
So clearly there was no filter during this conversation. The former employee also alleges that the
I don't think the Indians community is going to like this one. Because they come generally, they're in IT, they're in tech. You know, the Indians is kind of prestige. I don't think they're going to like this one. But my thing is, look at from a business side. Okay, stocks may go down. It may be a great time to buy. Stocks is going to go back up. I mean, people knew that McDonald's fries didn't decay, but yet they still bought it. And they still buying it every day. And guess what? They even buy it for their kids. And they consider that a happy meal. In fact, I believe that it should be an unhappy meal. It should be an unhappy meal, if you ask me. But, hey, monkey see, monkey do.
executive admitted to going to the office high on edibles. I mean, again, this goes on and on about a number of different things here. And apparently the former employee reported all of this to his manager. He says that some time went on and he wasn't encouraged to go to HR. And so he got fired. And what he's saying now is that he believes his firing was retaliation for him coming forward and speaking out about all of this.
Well, he can also lawsuit. He could sue the hell out of Campbells. Campbell's been around for a long, very, very long time. He could sue the hell out of Campbell's. That's unethical. Let's continue. But I'm glad that he put the word out there. And I don't believe that people are going to change. People are just repeated offenders. They're going to still go to McDonald's. They're going to still go to Chick-fil-A. They're going to still eat Campbell's soup. They're just going to do the same thing over and over and wonder why their life isn't advancing. No point in wondering when you're the problem. But let's continue.
Hallie.
Camila, we talked a little bit about some of what we heard from Campbell's on these alleged comments here. What else is this former employee, this former worker saying?
Well, first of all, I want to go back to what Campbell's is saying, because what they're saying is that they use 100% chicken. They say it's USDA approved. They go over the list and essentially say that all of this, that this current employee said was false. They also, I want to note, have this employee on leave while they investigate all of this. So he has not been fired yet, but he is on leave. And I want to read part of the statement that Campbell's put out where they say we are proud of the food that we make, the people who make it, and the high quality ingredients that we use. We know that millions of people use Campbell's products, and we are honored by the trust they put in us. The comments made about our food are completely inaccurate and absurd. So again, they also emphasize.
But this is coming from within, Campbell's. Allegedly, this is coming from within. These are your execs, right? These are your executive. This is coming from the top. They know what's in your ingredients. If he didn't record the conversation, the world would not have known. And you guys are for profit. I believe that you are willing to do whatever you need to do in order to make profit. Why? Because you have shareholders. You don't care about firing employees. You don't care about what's in your products. As long as it's making you more money. Can we talk about it? Well, let's discuss.
That the employee who made these comments, the vice president, works in cybersecurity in IT, and so they say he has nothing to do with the making of the actual food. On the other hand, you have this former employee who, of course, is suing, but who also says that essentially this was extremely emotional and really damaging for him, not just emotionally, but financially as well. Talks about being embarrassed and just being put out on the spot, essentially, for all of this, when he alleges that all he wanted to do was come out and tell the truth. I want to read part of his statement and what he's saying.
You know, we're living in a world where you can't just come out and tell the truth. You have to come out and tell lies, because if you tell the truth, they don't want to hear that. You get prosecuted for telling the truth, and you get freed for lying. What a world.
Now, he says this situation has been very hard on Robert. This is from his attorney. He says he thought Campbell's would be thankful that he reported Martin's behavior, but instead he was abruptly fired. We look forward to obtaining justice for Robert. So as this lawsuit plays out in court, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Campbell has not verified the audio.
And this is all allegedly, right? This is all allegedly. But on that note, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. The Healthy Discussion Show. You know how I like to end it. Positivity over negativity.